Welcome to another ogbonge lesson where we carry come today. Today video we want to learn how to make our basic we want to learn how to make tube top. So this tube top, it is very simple to make and it is beginner friendly. So if we're ready now, make we start. The first thing what we're going to need to do now to outline the basic measurements we need. So for this tube top, we won't use our basic body stake draft arm. So we're going to need the shoulder measurement, shoulder to waist measurement, shoulder to hip measurements, the bust measurements, the waist measurements, and the bust span measurements. So make we start now. So the first thing now to outline the vertical measurements, and we will start with the bust height. The bust height now from the shoulder to the fullest part of the bust. So for this pattern now 10 inches, we'll mark them here. Then the shoulder to the waist under bust, shoulder to the under bust now 13 inches. Then the shoulder to the waist measurements now 16 inches. Now we use for this pattern. So make we just 10 inches, 13 inches, and 16 inches. Then we'll go use our ruler to connect the lines. The next thing we want draft now to insert our shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement now 15 inches divided by 2 now 7.5 inches. So we'll just mark them here. Then we'll go insert the neck measurement. The neck measurement now 3 by 3. We won't use 3 inches wide and 3 inches depth, or maybe we use 3.5 inches depth. So now the measurements with this, then we'll connect the points together like this. Then the next thing we want to do now to come for the shoulder points here, we'll come down here by 1 inch for the shoulder slant. We'll connect them to the neck points. So after that, we will come insert the upper chest line measurement. The upper chest line measurement for this pattern now 7.5 inches, and we get the upper chest line by dividing the bust by 6. Bust divided by 6, we can add 1.5 inches to them. So that made it 7.5 inches. Then we'll go insert the bust measurement, will be 36 divided by 4. That is 9 inches here. So we will come measure this chest line measurement. We will measure the full length, divide them into 2, then find the midpoint. Come in here from this midpoint. We'll come in here by 1.5 or 3/4. So we will connect them like so, for here like this, to create the armhole curve. Then we will come use this armhole curve, connect from this bust point to this midpoint. So this now the armhole. So we don't get the armhole. The next thing now to insert the dart measurement, and the dart measurement now 3 inches. 7. That is from one bust point to the other. So 7 divided by 2 now 3.5 plus ½ inch plus for sewing allowance. That is 4. So we will come connect the points together like so. So the next thing we want to do now to get the dart legs. So we go inside the dart legs. We will come this under bust measurements. We will take 1 inch for the both sides. So I just want we will use 1.5 inch for this. We'll just use 1 inch. So we'll use 1 inch for the both sides. Then we'll come down for the waistline here. We'll still insert 1 inch for the both sides here. Then we'll go connect. We'll come the bust point line here. Come down here by 1 inch. Then connect all the points together. We'll connect the points together like so. Then the next thing we want to do now to create the tube. So to create the tube, we'll go measure the distance from this bust line to the under bust, and then we call the radius of the bust. So we go get the radius of the bust, and this measurement now 3 inches. So from here, from this bust point line, we go mark 3 inches round. So if you get compass, it go dey easier for you to use. But if you don't get compass, just do them like this as I do them. Just hold the tape from 3 inches and then mark them all round. Just mark them like this. Make sure say the tape dey on top the bust point. That is the bust point line as I do them. So just rotate them round like this. So So we don't rotate them round. But if you get compass, it go dey easier for you. Just measure, if you get compass like this, just measure 3 inches with your compass like this. Just measure them to where 3 inches dey. Then put them for this bust point. Use them just from here. Just connect the line. Draw the circle like this. So the compass make am dey easier. But if you no get am, if you no get compass, use the method wey we first use, then draw the circle round. So the next thing wey we wan do now na to extend this line. So that line, we go extend am to this point. So we go use our straight ruler, we go extend am here. Then the next thing wey we go do, we go take 1 inch for the both sides as we take from this under bust. So we go insert 1 inch here, 1 inch here. Then we go connect them to this. We go come up here from this point. We go still come up by 1 inch from this bust point. We go still go up by 1 inch. Then we go connect the darts together like so. So we don't connect the darts together. The next thing we want to do now to insert our measurements. So as you see am now, the next thing we go do now to create the sweetheart neck, or the neckline for the tube. So if you want make your own day straight, it's okay. But if you still want sweetheart neck, just come down from this point, from this place. You see I'm here. These 3 inches. Now the 3 inches between the 3 inches of the bust radius. So just come down here by ½ inch or 1 inch. It depends on how low where you want to make it day. So if we just use 1 inch here like this, we will use our curved ruler because we want to make the thing get sweetheart shape. We will just use our curved ruler, take curve them like so. Then from this side, we will curve them, come back to this point. Go from here, curve them to the armhole. Then use our straight ruler. Sorry, we use this other side of the curve, take curve them out like so. So just blend them. Make sure say the thing dey straight. Just curve them like this. So now so it be. Then if you want to use this side for the yoke, you just connect them like this. Just connect them so that everything go there. Then you go use this upper part for the yoke. Then insert, just use this curve still. Depends on the kind of neckline where you want. If you want round neck, just use this curved side. Draw the curved line. And we don't finish with this side. The next thing is to insert our measurements. So for this bust line, we take 2 inch for here. If you measure the darts, now 1 inch dey here. So 1 inch here, 1 inch here. We go return them back for this point. We go return them back. So the bust measurement now 9 inches plus 1 inch dart allowance, 10 inches. So we go insert them here. So this pattern will not go okay. But we just put our sewing allowance. Then we go use 1.5 inch for our sewing allowance here. Then the next thing will come the under bust. We go insert the under bust measurement, will be 7.5 inches plus this 2 inch dart allowance. 2 inch dart allowance will make a 9.5 inches plus 1.5 inch plus 1.5 inch for sewing. That is 11. So we'll go insert the 11 here. Then for the waistline, we'll come here, take the waist measurements now 8 inches plus 2 inch dart allowance, 10 inch plus 1.5, 11.5 will be the sewing allowance. So we'll go connect all the lines together like so. So we don't connect all the lines together for the side seam. So the next thing we go do now to just cut. See say it dey very simple and it is straightforward. So we go just cut, then we go reshape the back. We go do the back. But before we cut out this pattern, make we just extend this line so that we go use and create the back pattern. So we go just extend this armhole line. We go extend this bust line. The back no get under bust, but then we'll just come here, give the waistline. So now so maybe just cut now. So when you dey cut, make sure say when you dey cut for your fabric, make sure say the seam allowance you add your seam allowance join, and before you cut your pattern, make sure say you blend out all sharp curves, all the sharp curves. Make sure say everything they blended. So you just blend everything out. Then when you dey cut am for your pattern, make sure say you impute your seam allowances. So you see, I'm very simple and straightforward. See, so when we dey join, now this side we go join am from this side like this. See, I'm saying this simple and straightforward, very simple and straightforward, very easy to make. So now our tube top it is. The next thing we go do, if you want to use the yoke, that is this upper part, just cut them out like this. As we don't already start to cut, so just continue, cut out the yoke like this, cut out this armhole. Then we will use the upper part for the yoke. Just attach the upper part for the yoke. So now like this, we won't make the neckline. So this one now the yoke for this pattern. See, I'm very easy, very straightforward, and very simple. So the next thing we want to do now to come to the back pattern to create the back to create the back panel. So the first thing we go do now to insert the back neckline. So the back neckline now 3 inches wide, and then we'll use 1.5 inch for the depth. So reason we say we want to make the back they higher, make the back neckline they higher than the front neckline. So we'll go connect them. The next thing we want to do now to impute the shoulder measurements will be 7.5 inches. So we'll come here, we'll come down here by 1 inch. We'll connect this line to the shoulder line here. So the next thing we will do now to impute the armhole curve, what we don't already impute here for here. Then the next thing now the bust point be this. So the next thing we will do now to impute the upper chest, this one at the upper chest line, we'll just connect them like this. Then the next thing we will do, measure them into 2 equal halves, get the midpoints from here like this, and then mark them. Then just use your armhole curve, connect them to the 9-inch mark, because the back no get bust, so we no go come in by 1/2 inch. We'll just connect them direct. So now so we dey do them. So we don't connect them like this. The next thing what we want to do now to insert the dart measurement. And to insert the dart measurement, we will just connect, we will use the same 4 inches where we use for the front panel. Now we will still use for the back. So we will just connect, rule straight line, but we will rule and go reach this 1.5 inch below the bust, the upper chest line, because the back dart they always they higher than the front dart. So we will just take 1/2 inch for both sides. We will connect them. So we will just use normal waist dart for here like this. Then for here we will come insert the side seam measurement. So here still for the bust now 9 inches plus 2 inches sewing allowance 11. Here too we go insert 2 inches sewing allowance. So from here we go insert the waist measurement. Waist measurement na 32, that is 8, plus 1 inch that allowance 10 inches and 9 inches plus the 2 inches for sewing. So we go just connect all the lines together like so. So we don't connect them. The next thing what we want to do, don't forget to impute your, when you cut the center back, don't forget to leave space here for the zip allowance. The zip allowance they always stay here, and then you go draw out your neckline, the back neckline curve. Go draw them like so. Then the next thing what we want to do now to, so this one now, the next thing what we want to do now to just, so because of this thing what we add, maybe we just reconnect them. Then the next thing what we want to do now to just give small shape for here. So the back waistline they always they higher than the front waistline because of the bust. So bust no they back go. Then the difference between the back waistline and the front waistline for this pattern are 2 inches. So we'll just mark 2 inches here. Then we'll go connect them direct to the, we will use our, either you use your straight ruler or you use curved ruler. So I will just use straight ruler here. You will connect them back to the center side seam. So like this now. So if we want cut now, we go cut them like this, because the back, so that, and this one will help us to take eliminate the bulge where they did for the back side. So the next thing we go do now to just cut. Or then if you want for your tube, make the tube go down, make it go down from this side. What you go just do be say, from, you go just connect, you go just come down from this side, this zip side, you will come down by either 1 inch or ½ inch. So you just come down here by either ½ inch or 1 inch. Make I just come down here by 1 inch. So you will connect them direct back to the armhole, because we want to make this back get small slants for the back. So now time to cut. Don't forget to put your zip allowance for the back. Don't forget to put zip allowance for the back. Then this side, you just cut them like this. This one now go help you to remove that zip bulge where they always dey for some clothes. When they wear them, they always see one kind zip bulge where they dey. So this one now the back. That is if you don't want to use yoke. So this now the back. But if you need the yoke, you go just cut them from here like so. Just cut the armhole like this. And you're good. So this now the back yoke, and this now the back center piece. So if you also cut this side open like this, then we'll go sew them back together. So just cut them like this. Come out that. So just sew them like this together. Make sure say you notch the center, the bust point line, this line. Make sure say they notched when you cut them for material. Then this side now the front. So this now the front, this now the side front, this now the center front. So this center front go there unfold. This side we will cut 2 pieces. This center back we will cut 2 pieces for the zip allowance. We will keep 1 inch or 2 inches for zip allowance. Then this side now the center back. So make I arrange them well, make una see them. Una don't see them. This upper part now the yoke. So this now the side, this now the 2 sides. This now for the center, and this now for the back. So this now everything about our basic two top. So if you don't want to use yoke, or if you want to use mesh, you just use this part, cut out the mesh, use this back part, cut out the mesh, attach them to the main fabric or any other material where you use here. Now so we go do the front. So when you cut and finish, everything go align. This front go there unfold. This side will get two pieces for the side front, 2 pieces for the back side back, and 2 pieces for the center back. So now so everything be. I thank you now for watching. I will see you now for my next video. Bye bye.